see anything, by the way.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Mark Isaac Potter Presents. Today we're visiting with the lovely, indefatigable Lynnea Hagen, who I think just got nominated as ambassador to the UN from Siberia. No, that's not right. That's not it. I don't know.
Siberia's too cold for me.
Yeah, yeah. Besides, now I think they have woolly mammoths. I think they either already have or they're seriously considering bringing back the woolly mammoth. So
Yeah, that's
that was,
true.
that was its habitat.
Yeah.
Uh, Boy, there's something I wanted to mention to you, and I just can't. If I remembered, I may interrupt us. I
Okay.
can't remember. Okay, so folks, we're as I've said on other previous shows with Ms. Hagen, she is an exceptional human being, and I mean that in the highest possible way that I can. I've compared her to internationally known famous leaders, and that's where my head's at about her. She's exceptional. I'm quite honored to know her as a person. I have known other famous people, frankly, but she's the prettiest of the bunch, I can tell you. So you guys can all now say I'm a misogynist because I'm concentrating on beauty rather than. I mean, if you look like me, I look like 3 days of bad wind and rain. So beauty is very important to me.
I wish I was global. No, actually, that's a,
Oh, you're global, all right. I got a call from Romania the other day. Is Miss Hagen single or not? No, I don't. Well, anyway, I'm kidding. So, what aspect of your uh, expertise would you like to avail of us today, or to us, or with us, or like that?
oh, I would like to continue on the whole topic of leadership.
Okay.
And we were talking at some point about the whole idea about the roots that are either feeding us or bleeding us.
Right.
I was put into my high school Hall of Fame. I was inducted several years ago.
Okay.
And I guess, I mean, they must be desperate. My high school hasn't had it. I don't know.
My
I
high
mean,
school
I've
doesn't
written a
have a
couple
Hall of
books.
Fame, mostly
Yeah.
because in my high school nobody knows how to spell the word hall. Too
But
long, too many
so
syllables.
as part of that, I was invited to say a few words to and it was a scholarship dinner for graduating seniors who were graduating with scholarships.
Hmm.
And so I was asked to give a few words when I was inducted. And I hadn't done a whole lot. I'm not famous. I don't want to be famous. I just want to make a positive difference in the world. But by then I had, written a book and co-authored a few books, and I had my radio show. And that's I think that's about it. But anyway, but one of the things that I said to them, I said, hang with the firelighters,
Hmm.
avoid the fire extinguishers.
Hmm.
And part of what it means to lead ourselves is to be attuned to stuff like that and to move ourselves in a different direction, even if it's painful at the time.
Okay.
And I've worked with clients who maybe they're going through some kind of painful personal situation. And they'll say, well, but I love this person. You can love somebody from a distance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
You don't have to love somebody and have it up close and personal where they're hurting you.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, and that's part of this whole root system that either feeds us or bleeds us. One of those roots is relationships.
Well,
It's
and
not.
I think you and the people at the Sacratan Center have got a little. I was going to say it some way, but I don't know. You know a little bit more about leadership than most of the rest of us, and it's just a matter of getting all of you out into the world with things like shows and radio and
Yeah.
stuff, so that because a lot of people don't really even think about leadership. They don't, you know what I'm saying. They don't.
Yeah.
It's not even in their bandwidth to consider it something they should work on improving. I mean,
We're all leaders.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot
We're
of
all
people don't see it
leaders.
that way, but yeah,
Um, so, to go back to the whole model of a castle, the number one most important piece of that is the first one, which is courage. In order to be more authentic in who we are, and there's something called a social self. That's what we put the mask that we put out to the world.
right,
But there's the authentic self. That's deeply who we are within. What is your deeper purpose, and what do you stand for, and um,
right.
what do you believe in? How do you carry that through? It takes a lot of courage to be authentic. It takes a lot of courage to tell the truth.
Yes, and especially nowadays. Especially nowadays.
There's, yeah, that's a very painful topic to me. Um,
I can see why. I have a friend who's trans woman, and
mhm,
I just I don't know. We're close friends, and
mhm.
we're almost closer than close friends, and I just breaks my heart to see what she's going through right now.
Oh,
With
I have trans friends as well.
yeah, she quit her job on. No one suggested that she should quit. Her boss didn't suggest it. The company didn't suggest it. She just quit out of the fear of the current culture in the United States and just went to hide.
Wow.
And I love this person. I mean, she and I wish we'd been closer than we were, but it didn't really work out. But what can I do? I can just be there for her. That's all I know to do.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
anyway,
So, and making the kind of decisions and being a person um, who can move forward with that, either as
yeah,
the human being that your friend is, or as
yeah,
someone working in that organization to lift that person up, that takes a lot of courage.
yeah, yeah. It really does. It really,
And,
really does.
what I have found in my own life is that if something is painful or scary, you do it anyway. And it's,
Yeah.
it always works out better than I could have conceived.
Well, or if it doesn't, that's part of what bravery is about, you
That's,
know?
and you're
I
going to
mean,
learn something.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, all these people that want, these preachers that preach, well, if you do this for God, you'll get back 10 times more. I'm like, well, what if God needs me to do something and I don't get a big fat bonus paycheck? Isn't that okay too? You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody's got to get, it's all about capitalism and return on investment. And oh boy.
Well,
It's your interview, not mine, but I feel strongly
no,
about there's a reason I have you on the show. It's not just the big bucks. I like having someone like yourself saying the things you're saying to our audience because I feel like you make a difference. And
mm,
if I can say so, you make more of a difference somehow because your message is at a higher level that many of us don't even think about, you know? So it's yeah, so the more we can broadcast these shows, the better it is to me.
I one of the companies I founded was a health and weight loss company, and
Okay.
we were looking at the whole reason that people are unhealthy or are overweight.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that, and this kind of ties into what you were saying about don't think about it. People are unconscious. They're
Yeah.
not looking consciously at what they're doing or thinking.
No.
And so there's this whole behavior of just sitting and watching TV and just maybe finishing off a whole a whole big bag of Doritos or something,
Whatever it is.
of
Yeah.
whatever is there in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was struggling with weight. I mean,
Mhm.
I was in college when, a lot of people gain weight, but I was 40 pounds heavier than I am now. And when I was going up and down a lot, and this was even maybe 20 years ago, um, I decided to, when I was being in this place where I felt like I wanted to eat, I stopped and I wrote down what I was feeling
Okay.
at the time,
Yeah.
or what was I trying to avoid,
Right.
either avoid doing or thinking about. And I think the number one step that we can make for ourselves is to be conscious of who and what we are and what we're thinking in that moment. In fact,
Yeah.
there's a wonderful book um, called Taming the Gremlin. And we all
Oh,
have a gremlin inside, that is either telling us negative messages about ourselves or moving us in a direction that know we really don't want to move into.
yeah.
And there's a very simple step into taming that gremlin. And I have a whole committee. I mean, it's, we got these voices. I mean, I have a lot of us have a whole committee. I've got
So
different
instead of
person,
having a C suite in your head, you have a G suite.
a G Suite, a
G
gremlin.
for
Yeah.
gremlin. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, it used to be pretty bad. I mean, I had one that was a cheerleader, another one was a very um, uptight school mom. I mean, it had these different personalities. Luckily, I don't have those anymore.
Mm, good.
It's part of maturity and growth and pain and change. Um, but one thing we can do to lead ourselves into something higher and different is to be be aware, step back and observe, and catch yourself when you're thinking or doing something, and be the observer.
Right.
And that
Right.
is one of the biggest things to taming the gremlin and getting things
Yeah.
so you can get out of your own way.
Yep.
And
There's yep. Yeah. Many great Zen masters and such have said the same thing in almost the same way. So we have to do that. We have to figure out a way to do that.
figure out a way to just stop and when if you catch
Yeah.
yourself, thinking, making these negative messages to yourself, basically you just say cancel, cancel, clear, cancel, cancel,
And
clear, get
and
this out of here.
one of the early problems of that is, and I had to have empathy for these people because I was one for decades.
Hmm.
A lot of people are so far into unconsciousness,
Yes.
and it's not their on some level. It's really not their fault
Right.
that they do not know there is such a thing as consciousness.
Right.
Like back when Landmark was called Earhart Standard Training, it was news to the audience that we have thoughts in our head, that we have voices in our head. It was still debatable for most of the people in the room whether or not there were voices in our head. Because even though everybody hears those voices 75 hours a day, those people were not separating anything about themselves from the voices. It was
Right.
merged together so completely, they didn't even see it as another aspect.
Interesting.
And that's where a lot of the world still is. I
Oh,
mean,
I believe that.
the
Yeah.
mothers in Africa that I read about every week who have to walk 5 miles a day for water for their kids, the mothers who have to feed their children uh, the dirt from the place they live because it's the only thing there is to eat, hoping that that dirt has some kind
Right.
of nourishment for their child. And we live in a world where, you know, you know what I'm saying. The 1% of the 1% have got, I mean, Bezos's newest yacht, which is has a support yacht of its own that goes with it.
Oh, that is
No,
so,
no, I'm saying, and there's mothers,
yeah,
thousands and hundreds of thousands of mothers in Africa
millions. Yeah.
just feeding her children the dirt under their feet because it's
Right.
the only thing they have.
Right.
what kind of a world is that where there's that much difference? So, anyway, I think I'm off topic, but
It's painful.
I do get on here in the middle of the night and say stuff and broadcast that too, but it's not as interesting because I'm not Miss America like somebody I know.
Never had that as a,
Yeah, I'm known for saying things that are not only off the mark but completely inappropriate. It's kind of my brand.
yeah, really.
People hire
Some,
me to
yeah, somebody's got to
Nixon's
do it,
White
right?
House hired me to lose documents.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it, Mark. You're the anointed one.
Yeah, the annoying one. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. All right, dear. Well, are we
Well,
done or we're not really done or what do you think?
well, we haven't really gotten into it.
No, I think that yeah, TV has no relationship to actually giving a message. We're just supposed to entertain. We didn't get
Okay.
anywhere today, but
No, that's
there is
okay. No,
there
I
is
think
a
we did.
thing. I'll turn this into a serious thing in one twist of the what is that thing called? A Tim anyway. Um, in in this business of video, people will purchase from those whom they like, know, and trust.
Trust, yes.
And when we come on here and talk about leadership and the CASTLE acronym, they get something. But when we come on here and just go off script and act goofy and talk about having a refrigerator in the basement full of rats or whatever,
Oh, please.
they get to know us in a different
Right,
way.
right.
They're caught a little bit off guard. A little bit of our humanity sinks into them and they think about it more and they go, I've been trying to get my Uncle Ted to think about leadership since he has that big company. Maybe I'll ask him to call the secretary or that lady that was on Mark's show and see if I can get him to listen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
We are wired. I believe we are all meant to have joy. I do believe that.
really? Well,
And I do. And I think,
that's another 400 shows right there.
well, we can create
Meant to have joy. That's a way of putting it that's
we have a capacity
philosophically
for it.
challenging.
If we
So,
have a capacity for it, then we must be wired for it.
well, I've been reading too much, Kierkegaard and Sorogen and all those other guys from France. All those philosophical. Who was the one who died in the car accident in 1964? Who wrote, the existentialists? There were two
Oh,
dueling banjos of French philosophy. Can't remember either one of them. I told you I'm having dementia, right? Or not?
I think you may have mentioned it.
Yeah, I'm letting my audience know too because things that I would have been able to recall, effortlessly just a couple years ago, I can't find now. So,
Well, that happens
but
with all of us.
yeah.
I'm the
Anyway,
same way.
do you
We don't
want to
have,
say one or two things about leadership before we go, or you want to?
um,
What do you? You're the client. What do you want to do?
what do I want to do? I want to say something about joy and happiness.
Okay.
We have a choice on how
Okay.
we're going to be that day. Every day when I wake up.
Okay.
And tell you the truth, I wake up and sometimes just a little depressed
Yeah.
or feel like, there's kind of a weight on me. And I say to the universe, and I put my hands up like this, and I say, today I choose to be happy.
Okay.
And when we make that declaration, and this isn't woo-woo stuff, what we say makes a difference in who we are and how we are for that day.
Right.
And I started a declutter support group here at my house.
Okay.
And people most of us have too much clutter in our
Right.
minds and in our relationships and in our
Right.
finances. And then,
Right.
it's a lot of different areas that make up who we are.
Yeah.
And they hear people say, "Oh, I always struggle with this," or "Gee, I never can fall asleep," or and I catch people, and even as some of my friends, I said, I just stop you here because what I need for you to do is be very conscious of the words you use with yourself. Because when you say, "I can never fall asleep," guess what?
Yeah. 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 It's
If you
true.
say, I'm so stressed out," guess what? You're going to be really stressed out.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot, "I'm so overwhelmed." Oh,
I've
guess what?
never, I've never said
I'm sure you haven't. I'm sure you haven't.
that. Oh
But
Lord.
it's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Let's
is.
substitute overwhelmed for something. See, I have a lot
Yeah.
going on, but I'm going to handle it.
Yeah.
I could be overwhelmed. I mean, I've been through so much. You don't even know all the stuff that I've been through in my life.
I believe it, and I've heard some of it, so
Yeah,
I certainly haven't heard
but
all
it's
of
a
it.
choice.
Yeah.
It is a choice. I mean, I
But
lived for many
to
years.
get people to that place where they've trained themselves enough that in the privacy of their own home, they will unilaterally do that, initiate that without some coach standing there, slapping them
Right.
behind the ear, is a leap that we haven't made yet. I think that one of the reasons we're doing what we're doing is because humans haven't evolved as much as they possibly could have over the last 100,000, 200,000 years. It takes us forever to make a positive change that can stick.
Yeah.
And then of course somebody comes by and reverses, not that I'm mentioning anybody in particular,
Yeah.
reverses decades of work and progress and 50 years of women's rights and everything else. So anyway,
Well, we have a choice not to marinate in that because it's not, I don't,
yeah.
because it's
Well,
not
yeah,
good for
but
me. I've got work to do here on Earth.
there
It's not good
there's
for
a
me.
thing, there's a to me, and I'm still trying to work out the how it works, is there's a difference between purposely being uninformed and not going so far as to marinate in it.
Right.
I try to stay informed without having the badness be an obsession, you know.
That is so important. I had a client many years ago, a husband of somebody that I was in a group with, and talk about somebody who was stuck. Wonderful man, wonderful family. And so I said to him, "Tell me about your day. What do you do
Okay.
first thing in the morning? What is?"
Yeah.
Well, he reads the news. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you're driving
Yeah.
to work, what are you doing when you're driving to work? I'm listening to the news.
And a lot of you'd be surprised how many millions of people do that.
And then he was, and I say, "Okay, so then you do your work and stuff. Do you ever have a break?" "Okay, yeah, of course." "What do you do with break?" "Well, I read the newspaper."
Yeah.
And then he's listening to the news on the way home, and then he's watching the
Yeah.
news when he would get home.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wrote a book on stuckness. I mean, talk about something will keep you stuck.
Yeah.
You feel powerless. You
Yeah.
know, we need to fill ourselves with things and make actions of things where we can make a difference. We can't change the news. We can change our
Right.
own reaction to it and what we do with it. And
Yes.
I said to him, I said, "David, why do you need so much news?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I want to stay informed." I said, "There's ways to stay informed
That's not, you don't have to do it 5 times a day to stand.
without mainlining it.
I typically now I go on Blue Sky. It's a very neutral
Right.
news. Within Blue Sky, there's a news feed, just very neutral, factual
Yes,
statements about what happened. There was an earthquake in this place,
exactly. Yeah.
and then I just close it up and I go back to what I was doing.
Right.
So at least I know, it's not Fox News. They go, oh God, Obama wore a brown suit. Let's
Yeah.
impeach him. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. We could really get weighted down with it. And if we want to get
Yeah.
ourselves unstuck, we need to be lifted up by something. And that's our responsibility to not only to ourselves, to our family, our community, and the rest
Mhm.
of the world.
Well, and I suggest not to go deeper too much, but that people who do that, who do the news like 4 or 5, 6 times a day, are getting a benefit from keeping themselves in that peculiar place. They
Right.
get a payoff of some kind. I would be hard pressed to language it in a way that was culturally acceptable, but they do it. They don't just do it, but they do it for some Jungian reason that we would be scared to find out about. So
Well, I think a lot of it's just once you start reading it, you get scared. There's a lot of fear, and then you got to know more about the fear. And I think a lot of it. Oh, that's the end of the show.
we
I think
love you.
it's just bad habits. It's just
We love you. I don't care what your neighbors have been saying about you.
you know about that, huh? Okay,
Yeah. Well,
okay.
they keep calling me, do you have any more eggs I can throw at Lynia's house? I go, well, let me go just see what I can buy.
I love eggs.
One of them paid my Costco membership so I could get them more eggs to throw at your house. Um, do you want to do a third show today or you want to go do something else?
Let me see. I
Up to
could do
you.
I could do a third show.
All right. I hesitate to. And by the way, this show we just finished, I had some timing problems earlier, so
Oh, okay.
the timing may be off. I sometimes forget to push the button at the beginning of the show.
Okay, so I have a question. So how many minutes is each show for recording? What's the limit?
The limit is supposed to be this show we just did. I don't know because we had a problem, but the limit is 28 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, because I can set a timer because I'm not quite sure when we're getting close to
Okay,
the end.
let's go for like 26 minutes because then that gives me a little time to do a traditional sign off, which I don't know if any of these will be able to go to the TV station or if it's even worth doing it that way anymore. But when I talk to you, I try to create them in a way that we could consider sending them if we needed to, without
Okay.
editing and without a lot of expense to prepare it for them. So, all right. So, shall we,
I just sent you $200 more.
honey, you're on camera still.
Oh,
We're
well,
still
you can edit
recording.
it out. You can edit it out.
Now it costs money to edit it. I'm not going to spend. I'm going to spend your money on promoting you, not making myself feel better.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but like I say, this is my. I have a theory. Someday, if we ever get a chance, I want you to interview me.
Oh,
And
that would be fun.
I've had 7 or 8 or maybe 10 people this year want to interview me, and most of them I've just kind of went because they wouldn't know how.
Right.
Because all the work I did as a life coach, I created a technology for physiological change that nobody knows about. I taught that class 49 times back in the 90s.
I would
All
love to
that
interview
stuff.
you.
I would love it. I'm trying to be respectful of your time, because I wouldn't go to John Kennedy and say, I know you got this Cuba thing, but could you drive me over to McDonald's?
I don't think some of those people I don't think have ever driven a car themselves. Although
Yeah.
The Queen of England drove a car.
Oh, she was in the service. She was in the military
Yeah.
service. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. She drove a
And
Land
John,
Rover.
yeah, yeah. Lots of we could talk for years. I love talking to you. So, all right,
Ah.
folks. I love you. I suspect that Lynnea also loves you very much since she's always talking about love. And to answer all the viewer comments, yes, she was on the show Castle. She was both in it as an actress and she was one of the producers. But she only made about 2 million an episode, so I feel like they underpaid her.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because
That's
Nathan Fillion made 3 million, so that's unfair.
yeah, I like that show actually. That's
Oh,
a,
I
that's
and
gonna
I
be
and
my
I
new
wish
line.
they'd kept it going. Yeah, they. I mean, in the in season 8, they got married. They have a kid,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's well, but it's okay. just keep
That's
going, you know.
it's like a Hallmark channel.
Well, yeah, but the kid could turn out to be somebody who has borderline personality disorders. I mean,
Oh,
all
that would
right,
be
folks.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
They're trying to solve
We
a crime that their own child. Ooh.
yes, or either that or the baby could be could have baby clients. You know, a baby could call the other baby and say, "My mother will not feed me chocolate pudding twice a day like I want."
Oh,
And the
yeah.
castle baby could say, "Okay, I'm going to get on that."
And then they have a hit baby.
Yeah, yes, contract killer baby. Yeah.
Contract killer baby, hit baby.
I when I'm doing my alignable stuff, I very frequently, like more than 50% of the time, I tease the other person who is a complete total stranger. We do these speed dating for business meetings,
Yes, yes.
and they'll talk the whole 7 minutes instead of 3.5, and about 25 seconds before the end, they'll say, "Well, you know, what do you do? I forgot to ask you what you do." And I say, "Oh, that it doesn't matter what I do." They said, "No, really, what do you do?" And I say, "Well, I'm a contract assassin. I have this TV thing as a cover." And then I say, "I love rooftops." So anyway,
Okay.
we love you folks. We're going to possibly do another show. I'm going to take a pee break, and we'll
TMI,
be back.
Mark.
What'd you say?
TMI.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. That's yeah. I was going to do something with TMI as a branding thing, but all right. Bye, folks. Bye, bye,
Okay,
bye, bye.
bye-bye.
Bye, bye.
I'm
Bye, bye,
leaving.
bye.
I'm leaving now.
Bye, bye, bye.